doing? Well, thank you all. Thank you so much, and thanks for coming, and thanks for that beautiful complimentary welcome. How do we begin this? Just
If you want to say a few things, if you want questions, this is whatever you're comfortable.
okay. Well, let's just hit the ground running. Anybody have a question about anything I've ever done in my life, or most things? Yes, Veronica.
What was it like making the Laverne and Shirley Sings album?
Well, it was a little tricky. We did one song on the album, and this will kind of cover what it was like. We did 16 Reasons, which Connie Stevens sang back in the 1990s. And the reason we did that song is because I could kind of sing it, and all Penny had to do was shout out the numbers. She had to just count. 1, the way you comb your hair. 2, and that was Penny's part. So it worked out well. It was a lot of fun. It was stressful because Penny's not a singer, and I sang okay in the church choir. So, but it was a lot of fun and a real privilege to get to do it. Anybody else?
Yes, I have a quick question. Right in front, right next to Veronica.
Yes.
One's very short. How much did you guys get to ad-lib in Laverne and Shirley Happy Days, or was it all written on the page?
Penny and I ad-libbed a lot, and so did the boys. Well, the whole cast did. During rehearsal, we would, if things weren't funny, if they didn't make us laugh out loud, we knew it wasn't going to make the audience laugh out loud. So we would just come up with things ourselves, if they be little physical things to enhance the scene and make it funnier. And it usually worked out really well. Although sometimes I've seen a couple shows and I go, you can really tell that we're just ad-libbing there. And sometimes when the boys would come in, when Lenny and Squiggy would come in, they'd make us laugh, and we couldn't stop laughing. And usually our lines to them were, get out. Get out now. And we couldn't say it because they were so darn funny. And the thing about David Lander and Michael McKeon is, they were with this group in LA called the Credibility Gap, which Harry Shearer, I don't know if any of you know who Harry Shearer is, but he was, thank you for Harry. Anyway, and they were this brilliant improv group that was on the radio, and they always did the Rose Parade. They always did their highlights of the Rose Parade. It was hysterical. And they're brilliant. I mean, they have really high IQs. And that, I think, is the reason they were so much fun to watch playing really dumb guys, because there was such intelligence under that. Anyway, I hope I answered that for you.
You have a question?
Mateo.
What's your favorite Shaq's Talent Show episode?
Oh, you know what? I was just thinking about this, because I'm writing a book and I wanted to get this picture. We did one, and Gary Marshall, producer of Laverne and Shirley, said, I'm going to get our moms in here, because my mother could kind of sing, and Penny's mother, Marjorie, she had been a dance school instructor all her life, and she owned dance schools in the Bronx. So my mother sang Pennies from Heaven, while Marjorie, Penny's mother, tap danced to the side, and so it was going well. And then in one of the rehearsals, Gary came down and he goes, I got to get Frances, that's my mother, Frances something funnier to do. So they put baskets on my mother's hip. My mother's a tiny little thing. They put baskets on her hips like this. And when she sang Pennies from Heaven, Gary said, just take the pennies and throw them into the air. Pennies from heaven. So my mother never did it until we actually shot the show. And so Marjorie's dancing and my mother's singing, when it rains, it always rains. And she did this. Pennies from, ow! and I don't know if they kept it in or not, but I think Gary came in and said, Frances, throw them out to the sun. And then she said, well, I'll hit Marjorie. Anyway, that was one of my favorite shows because my mom was on it.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming to Monroeville.
Well, thank you for having me.
You obviously did a lot of difficult stunts on Laverne and Shirley.
Mhm.
Does any one stand out in your memory, and did anybody actually ever get hurt doing those?
Well,
Because they
Penny,
were ridiculous.
when Penny's here in August, she'll tell you all about getting hurt on the wires. It's one of her favorite stories, because everybody had to pet her and make her feel better. Because she was hoisted up, and I don't think I was on that show, and the wires broke, and she did hurt herself. But we actually, the stuntmen of Hollywood came down and presented us both with official stuntmen buckles and belt buckles. And because we did do all our own stunts. The one I'm most proud of is, besides hanging on hooks, I mean, it's not exactly a stunt, although we did do stunts. We did jump and fall and you know, land on certain parts of our bodies we probably would have been better off not doing. But one of my favorites was the episode with the mechanical bed that goes into the wall, because we had to block that. There was no mechanism. There were two gaffers, and they stood. The bed went like this into the wall, and the premise was, she loses an earring, and we're in this house we've never been in before, and it's all electrical. It's all a medallion home. And so we don't know that the bed is a Murphy bed that is on, you know, on an electrical switch. So she loses her earring, and she finally says, oh, there it is on the bed. And we both go for it, and the bed picks us up. The bed just starts going like this. And so then the bed goes down and up, and it keeps going down and up, and we keep turning in different positions each time. Now we had to coordinate it with two guys who were just on levers doing this backstage, and we did it in one take, and at the end we do a flip and we land on our feet and the bed goes up, but we wanted the bed to be like a monster that was eating us, and so these guys got into it, and it wasn't. We kept switching our positions every time the bed would go up, so we had to time it really well, and we did it in one take, and then we do kind of a flip off the bed and stand up, and the bed goes up like that, and we stand away from it. And I turned to Penny and I said, you know, if there was an Olympic event for this, we would have taken the gold. So that was, oh, and the other one was, I had to run an obstacle course one time, and Penny, being the director she is, wanted it all to be in perfect time. In other words, real time, where I had 14 seconds to run it, and they'd start the clock, and I'd actually run it. I was great at everything, running through the tires, sliding down the slide, getting the dummy on my back, running up the monkey bars, everything, except for the rope. I had to shinny up a rope at the end and ring a bell. And I have no upper body strength, so I said, well, we're gonna have to cut here when I get to the rope. And Penny said, no, we're not gonna cut. And I said, yeah, we gotta cut because I have no upper body strength and I can't get up the rope. You're gonna have to bring a ladder in, and I'm gonna have to, you know, be up there, and you'll have to cut into that. And they said, and she said, absolutely not, you're gonna go up the rope. I said, no, I'm not going up the rope. And so she just waited, and we did, you know, we started the obstacle course, and everything was fine. And, you know, through the tires, down the slide, dummy on my back, through the pond, over the monkey bars, I get to the rope. I hesitate for a nanosecond, and she goes, get up the rope! And I climb the rope and rang the bell. So that's how we work it sometimes. Anybody else?
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
I had a picture taken with you back in the back.
Bob?
Kenny.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say that.
No, Kenny. I just want a couple things to say that I've seen you on other programs before, and you, what a big impact American Graffiti was in this area here. I'm a hot rod guy, and I hung out with a lot of hot rod guys. I've had and still like hot rods, but I didn't know if you realized what a big impact that had on the hot rod culture in this area, because I was in